Hello YouTube. So I just received this Tom Bihn Pilot. It's a travel bag slash briefcase. I've been using a co-pilot, which is also from Tom Bihn, for the past several months. It's kind of an everyday carry, travel bag, satchel kind of bag. But I wanted to get a Pilot just because it's a fair bit bigger, though still the same shape. Still conforms to generally all airline personal item requirements. So this is just a collection of stuff. I don't carry all of this stuff with me every day, but I do carry a fair bit of it. But let's just get this packed into the Pilot and see how it does, and then I'll give a quick comparison of what I think about this Pilot versus my co-pilot. So as you can see, this is a 400 denier Dyneema nylon ripstop fabric in the steel color, and it also has a 200 denier Dyneema steel interior lining. Here on my table I've got an 8 case camera insert. I got this to fit into my co-pilot because it's only 3.5 inches wide, and it's probably one of the thinner padded camera inserts that I was able to find. It's just on Amazon. It's like $15–20. In this case, I usually carry my main camera is an Olympus EM1. It's a very high-end mirrorless camera, but it's about the size of a compact SLR. I usually carry a couple lenses as well as the lens that I usually have attached to the camera, which is a 12–40 constant aperture lens, and there's usually 2 primes in here. A vapor water bottle, my wallet, which might be in my pants pocket, an organizer wallet from Tom Bihn. This usually carries cards I don't keep in my normal wallet, so a lot of loyalty cards I don't use very often. Another little organizer pouch. I usually have medication in there, as well as usually some of these other little bits and bobs. USB charger, 2.1 amps, so it can charge pretty much anything. 128 gig USB key, USB on the go cable, Microsoft Arc Touch mouse Surface Edition, Bluetooth, works great. This is a size 1 stuff sack in ultraviolet, lip balm, Vicks inhaler because I've got a bit of a cold right now, safety whistle, cheap pens. I tend to lose pens a lot. This is a lens pen for keeping camera lenses clean, Gitsos rocket blower for blowing dust off of things, SD card case, headphones. My cell phone is an HTC One M8, Ray-Ban foldable Wayfarer sunglasses, variety of key straps, umbrella. It's been raining a little lately. This is an incredibly light windbreaker from MEC. It's a lot like REI, but in Canada. This only weighs 126 grams, I think, so it's great. Even in a light rain, it seems to work fine. Car keys, house keys. This is a 12,000 milliampere Anchor portable battery. It can charge 3 devices at once. Works great. This is something I probably don't carry with me all that often anymore, but I used to carry this traveling a lot. This is a Samsung Chromebook 303, very popular Chromebook. It's about the same size as a MacBook Air 11. This has been recently replaced in my technology suite with this device. This is an Acer Iconia W4. It's a Windows 8.1 8-inch tablet. Same size as an iPad mini, but in my opinion, a hell of a lot more functional at half the price. It runs full Windows, so I can run pretty much anything. I can even work and do my job as a software consultant from this device in a pinch. It's about, I think it's a 64 gig that I got for about $250, and I dropped a 128 gig SD card in it. So for $350, I have a 160 gig tablet that I can actually run applications on. Power brick for the laptop, and just a magazine. So let's just get this all stuffed in here. So right away I can feel that the fabric feels very much lighter than the ballistic nylon of my co-pilot, but it still has a stiffness that's a little better and a little stronger than the 200 denier Dyneema, if you're familiar with Tom Bihn bags. So let's just get this right in here. A lot of room. I also like the zipper orientation has changed, that they've gone with the more traditional orientation of the zipper, where the zipper's on the outside as opposed to having the kind of aqua guard on the outside, which is what's on the co-pilot. It works fine. I think it works the same either way, but what I noticed with the co-pilot and with other Tom Bihn bags that have the AquaGuard rubber sealing on the outside is you tend to see the fraying, so you see like the fabric get worn out a bit. They seem to pick up a little more dust and dirt, which just kind of looks a little unsightly. But other than that, they function pretty much the same. So let's just get this locked in here. There we go. Pen. I usually just stick these little things into the pen slots because I really don't carry a lot of pens, but they really are quite handy when you're on an airplane and have to fill out customs forms. So let's get these guys away. So I will put, the camera isn't in here, but it still holds the same shape and size. Weight might not be exactly the same, but all of these will fit either in the main compartment or in these two pockets on the side, or on the inside. And they have the two O-rings inside, which is a step up from the co-pilot, which only has the one O-ring somewhat centered. So here I can actually get two things clipped in and kind of drop them into the pockets and be able to easily find them afterwards. So let's just drop this in here. Let's go this side. All of this stuff just goes into the stuff sack for organization. Drop the mouse in, power charger, headphones. So I'll usually stick this at the bottom just for a little padding for the camera. I'll drop the camera in on top of that. Let's tuck the laptop in behind all of those and give it a little more rigid structure. So my work laptop, which I tried yesterday but I don't have with me today, is a 14-inch Lenovo T420. It's a fairly standard business laptop. That fits in here fine. It even fits in here with a neoprene case. I don't have a laptop small enough that I think would fit into any of the Tom Bihn caches or cache with rails. But when I do switch to a smaller work laptop, which should be later this year, maybe I'll get a cache with rails, and this will become a great bag for all of my business travel, because then I can just slide it right out and pass through TSA checkpoints without an issue. So let's get some key straps in here. So there's still quite a lot of room, especially beside the camera insert. You'll see in a second when I turn everything around and show you how it was all packed, but it is looking quite comfortable. To attach these to some things, so let's just throw those in there. That's probably the wrong way. Yeah, it's fine. And there you go. It all fits. Not too bad. Okay, so let's take a look at the outside and the inside of the bag now that we've packed it. Beside me I also have my co-pilot, which is black ballistic nylon 1050 denier with an Iberian 200 denier Dyneema interior. But as you can tell just by looking at it, it's got a lot more structure. There's nothing in here. It stands up on its own. It pretty much always looks like this, even if you've got a fair amount of kit in it. The only times it kind of bulges is if you really, really overstuff it, but generally it always looks fairly the same. Other things I notice is, apart from just the zipper orientation, the zipper pulls themselves have been considerably upsized. So whereas on the co-pilot they're actually pretty small, little fiddly. I think I actually had it, when I first got it, some problems just finding them and pulling them open. And so I ended up attaching a couple of the cord pulls to these ones at the back. On the Pilot, they are a lot bigger. Here you can see that it's the size of a thumb knuckle, whereas on these ones it's barely the size of my thumb nail. But generally, the bags are fairly laid out identically similar. So on the back here, where I shoved the magazine, we've got the magazine stash pocket, which also becomes a pass-through for rolly luggage. And somewhere along here is the zipper. It's on this side. Yeah, and this is also a fair bit bigger, I think, than the one that is on the co-pilot. Actually, no, it's about the same size. So these just open straight up, and you can slide a rolly bag right through, rolly bag handle. So let's pull that back down. So let's start in the back compartment, which I already kind of gave you a shot of before, but here's how I have this laid out. So if you had a cache with rails, it would attach to these kind of gatekeeper webbing loops right here, and it would sit in the same orientation as this laptop currently is. So let's just pull that guy out. Get this rocket blower, stuff, more stuff. If I were using this camera or this bag and my camera kind of like I was out traveling, I'd usually just have this fully opened and pulled back down, much like a travel tray, where you can just kind of zip it open and slide it open, and then I could just easily come in and out of my bag, change lenses, pull the camera out, put the camera away. So that's pretty handy. And as we showed before, here are just a couple pockets. On the co-pilot, these are actually on the back panel. So whereas on the Pilot, they're on the interior. And this makes sense with the orientation of the Pilot, because the cache with rails is supposed to go along this back, and then it would slide right out. So they couldn't logically put the pockets back on this side, because then you would never be able to access it. You'd kind of have to reach under your laptop. One of the things that it does is it actually gets rid of some seaming that used to be here on the co-pilot, because that's where it's hard to see black on black because this is black stitching, but the pockets were actually seamed right down the middle of the exterior of the bag. And as we mentioned, there's a couple O-rings on the inside here, whereas there was only just one before in the co-pilot. Water bottle pocket still has a drain grommet. It is looking a little bigger than the one that was on the co-pilot. Serves the same function. My water bottle, which is a 700 milliliter vapor, fits a fair bit better in here than it did in the co-pilot. In the co-pilot, I usually kind of have to scrunch it underneath the lip before zipping it closed, but I could probably stick this in fully filled. I could probably even get the 1 liter version of the bottle in here. Let's just take this out. So then if we move to the right side pocket, left if you're facing the bag, in the co-pilot, this was this is where your phone went. So it was a micro suede lined pocket where your phone would go, and now it is actually much larger. This actually can fit an iPad mini, as you can see here. This is my 8-inch Windows tablet. Fits in there fine. It even fits a little better without the case that I have, but otherwise it fits okay. Just have to finagle it a bit. There's still a lot of room between the end of the pocket and the front of the bag, so you can get a lot of stuff in here. You can fit stuff sacks. They even have packing organizer cubes that you can slide in there that are sized perfectly for it. And as you can see on this side, this is where the cell phone pocket's been moved out to. So it's a bit of a squeeze for my phone, which is considerably wider than an iPhone, or taller than an iPhone as well. I usually do have this phone in a different case, but I didn't think it would fit this pocket with the case on, so I've taken the case out. Still 3 pen pockets, O-rings in all of the exterior pockets, and there should maybe be one in here. No, that's unusual. In the Co-Pilot, there was an O-ring inside the center water bottle pocket, so it's rather interesting that they actually got rid of it. So let's just take a first look at it. So the majority of the stuff that I put in the bag I've taken out now. There's still just a few things that are key strapped in. But the bag itself still stands up. There is ribbing all along to kind of help give it some structure, but it does tend to sag a bit more than the ballistic nylon, and that's just the change in materials and the different structures. But by and large, it looks like a great bag. I think for my purposes it will suit me fine, but there you can see the size difference between the two.